What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's project, the Hot Wheels Custom Chevrolet El Camino. This thing is a little bit of a beauty. Doesn't look anything like that you can see in the picture there. We did pick this one up from the junkyard where we got just about a good deal. We could sell it now and make 6 credits, which is profit, and profit is profit. It does come with a V8 overhead valve engine, currently running 613 horsepower. Now, we could quite easily swap that to the 2-carb overhead valve supercharged engine and already be absolutely smashing it. But we have done the overhead supercharged engine quite a lot recently, so we definitely won't be doing that. But we will probably be swapping it to one of these other ones with a bit more horsepower, something else for us to have a look at, something fun to play with, something that's going to be cool to work on. Haven't decided which yet, but I will as the day goes on. This is the Hot Wheels Custom. It is absolutely ludicrous. You can't see it from here, but when I throw all of this in, these are 2 giant piles of exhaust parts and everything like that, meant to resemble 2 turbine engines. Hopefully this is going to look pretty cool when it's finished. It is, well, I mean, it already looks pretty insane. You've got fuel tank here, all of these mufflers, all of these exhaust pipes, power steering reservoirs either side, more exhaust pipes, brake servos, and then 2 massive air filters up there, along with a giant large intercooler meant to look like the trunk lid or tailgate, whatever you want to call that, flattened out. It's pretty extreme, if I'm being honest. It is pretty extreme. You can get to these from here, but you can only get to some of this. Like, this has to be under the car, has to be on the lifter, things like that. It's a bit bizarre, this one. I'm looking forward to getting it finished, seeing how cool this looks. Yeah, that engine needs a lot of work, so it's a good job we're swapping it out for something different anyway. That is in a bit of a sorry state. But let's get this one started. Let's get it over to the car wash, and let's get it cleaned up. Here we are then at the car wash. What colour is this car underneath the dust? Let's find out. What colour are you? That looks like a yellow. Very, oh, sort of like a dull yellow. Very boring colour. Definitely not keeping it that one. But let's get this interior cleaned, get it back on the lift, and get what's left of that engine ripped out and stripped down. Let's get underneath and have a look for that oil pan. There's no oil pan, so let's just jump straight in, getting this exhaust and a starter out. No starter, but I can't take the gearbox out. Why can I not? Is it because that drive shaft counts? It might be. Let's get this drive shaft out and see if that's what's stopping me getting the gearbox out. Very strange bolts there, bolting into absolutely nothing, but never mind. Now, can I get that gearbox out? Yes! So that drive shaft running up the back is apparently connected to the gearbox to make that work, but never mind. That's that out, nice and easy. Let's get the car back on the ground and get the engine ripped out. Come on, little El Camino, you can do it. Well, I say engine. It's not really an engine, is it? It's just a block and a few bits. Let's get you put away. Let's check out what we've got going on in this engine bay. A very empty fuse box and not a lot else. Obviously, we've got the air filters up here. Is there anything missing? There is a lot missing. Battery, coolant reservoirs, windshield washers, brake servos, ECUs, power steering reservoir, and obviously the radiator, plus potentially the fan housing kit for the radiator. Lots of mufflers missing, of side exit exhausts there. Oh, and then there's absolutely hundreds missing up here. I'm not looking forward to this. But let's get this cleared out. So let's get, there we go. Let's get the air filter out. Let's get the cover off. These 2 out of here, because we don't want you. Let's take the single fuse out of that and then get you off as well. That's it for the engine bay. We've obviously got some exhaust to clear out and some rear end suspension. Let's have a look what we've got going on down here. This is a double wishbone at the front with a singular shock there. A nice cross member. Looks pretty complete at the front. I don't think there's too much missing. It's hard to see with everything actually missing. Looks like we've got the inner and outer tie rods all there. On that side, are they there on the other side? Yes, so that looks pretty complete at the front. Let's go down and have a look at the back. And, oh, it's quite a good one, actually. There's not too much going on here. Single solid arm with the plates and the U-bolts. Cross-member axle. And then, have we got disc brakes? That looks like disc brakes. That is disc brakes. Ideal. We don't have to worry about that. Why haven't it even let me select that? Oh, there we go. I was in the wrong mode. Just take this wheel off and have a look underneath here. All of these bolts. Wow, that's You see the state of that spray can there? It looked well awkward. Never mind. Let's get you off. It is disc brakes. I did think it was. But anyway, let's get that. Is the back end all clear? The back end is all clear. So let's get it up in the air and start getting this suspension ripped out. That's everything stripped off the El Camino. Just got this bodywork to go. There ain't a lot to it, so let's just start stripping it down. Off comes the bonnet, or the hood, sorry. Off comes the front end. That's a fixed entity, I believe. Windscreen, no door, no skirts by the looks of that. Rear bumper, off you come. No lights installed. Door, and I think that's about it. We've got some interior to get out, so let's press the button to sit in it. Didn't mean to do that. Let's get that interior stripped out. Just the one seat there. I do believe that is potentially everything stripped off. 1%. Sometimes there is just something. What was that? Oh, car part 2. There you go. Off you come. Didn't see you hiding in there. Let's check the other side for that one. Doesn't look like it. Oh, it might have been though. What was that? Something pinged up. No, doesn't look like it. Nothing else there. I think. Oh, there we go. Fuel tank. Weird. Nothing on the other side. Definitely not. I believe that's everything. I'm not 100% sure. Let's jump in here and have a look at this. That looks like everything to be completely off. There we go. That's a good start. Let's get the welder. Let's get this frame all sorted. As soon as I've got this one finished, I'm going to go and buy some bodywork, repair some bodywork, get all of the bits repaired I can, and we'll start getting this body back together. What's the guess today? I reckon 2,500. Ow, way off with that one. Only 500 today. Completely off. 2,000 out, but there we go. That's looking... Actually, I said that colour was very dull, but it's actually not that bad. It's sort of like a goldy sort of colour. I quite like it, but probably not going to keep with it. In fact, definitely not going to keep with it. Let's get the welder put away, and then I need to go and repair some body panels and some other bits. So I will meet you back by the car in just a couple of moments. Time to get that body all back together, refreshed, ready and new. Let's just take a quick look. Oh, I was in the interior shop last. Let's just take a quick look at what you can get for the El Camino. There are 6 pages on here with a lot of cool stuff. Now, some of the bits we can't use, as we can't use the trunks on this one because it doesn't have a trunk placement. So we've got a lot of the rest to look at. I've already been through and bought what I want. I've gone for a lot of the black trim stuff, the long trims on the side. The black trim around the window frames, stuff like that. Different bumpers you can pick. There's a lot of options here. This car is modded in by Payne. The car itself is modded in by Payne. The Hot Wheels Custom is modded in by Zaraki. I'm not sure which one is correct. I do apologize. But the car itself is by Payne, and the config of this one is by Zaraki. Both of the links will be in the description if you want to go and grab this one for yourself. But let's start getting it all back together. Now, I've gone for the black trim hood with the big cowl induction on the front end with the black trim, and the front bumper with the support bits. But this bit is paintable. I haven't bought my plates yet, so they're still on the original plates. The lights I've gone for are just the headlight E. They're slightly tinted, so slightly darker than the normal. Fenders with the black trim. As I said, a lot of this is the black trim stuff. Let's get the rear clamshell in. That's just a bit of the roll cage there. Doesn't really matter. Black trim doors. Windscreens. Normal windscreens because we can tint them now with the tint machine. And the rear window. Car part 1 is with the black trim. And then obviously the door for the fuel tank. Black trim on the lights. Black trim on car part 3. And then just the standard bumper at the back there. More black trim. More black trim, and some more black trim. Everything is black trimmed. That is pretty much the whole body back together. In fact, it is the whole body back together. Obviously, we've got to build all the turbo bits out of exhaust on the back here, which is pretty sweet. But let's head this one over to the paint shop. I'm going to grab some license plates. They're not going to be anything too fancy this time, but I'll meet you in the paint shop when we pick the colour and have a look at a few of the liveries. I shall see you in a moment. Let's have a look at the liveries we have available. There is only 2 on this one. First one is just white stripes down the hood. I think they probably go on the tailgate as well when you've got a configuration with a tailgate. This one obviously doesn't. So it's just the white stripes down the hood. That's all I can see realistically. I have done my plate as well. Virtual Mechanic, Hot Wheels, Chevrolet, El Camino. Obviously the 3 being an E because license plates need numbers, apparently. They don't really need numbers in the game. I just decided to make it look a bit different. Anyway, the second livery, I'm going to change the colour now. To go to the second one is just the black stripes. Now, both of these liveries are done by French Toast. I love French Toast's work on liveries. He does amazing jobs. These are very basic ones, but they still complete the car. And in fact, I think I'm just going to go for this solid white with the black stripes because I've got all the black trim, and that actually looks pretty sweet. So I'm going to go for that. While I'm going for that, well done, French Toast. You've done a beautiful job on that. Well done, Payne. Beautiful job in modding in this car. And obviously, well done to Zaraki or Zaraki, however you pronounce it, for doing this Hot Wheels Custom El Camino. Next up, we're going to head over to the lifters. We've got to get the suspension done. What colours am I going to do? Probably in this configuration, just going to black it all out. Maybe some white wheels, maybe some black wheels. We'll see when we come to it. The engine itself, probably, the engine bay's black as well. So probably going to try and black out most of that, but with some like white covers, maybe white filter, whatever that bit of the top's called, you know what I'm talking about. The filter cover on the top there, maybe try and get that in white. We will see. Maybe I'll go for a white engine with black accents. Don't know yet, undecided. But next up, we will get the suspension done and get it on the car. So I will see you back at the lifters in just a couple of moments. All the suspension parts painted. Let's have a look at the actual shocks themselves. I've gone for a white base on the shocks with a black spring and a cap that you can't paint. And that's looking pretty sweet for a black and white car. Loving that. Let's get you off of there. Let's start throwing these onto the car. I've already thrown on some of the bits that can't be painted just to speed this process up a little bit because we've got a lot to talk about on this car when we come to doing all of this stuff up here, whatever this is going to be. Anyway, the main cross member there in white, looking pretty snazzy. Then the suspension arms are in the black. White and black comparison, looking pretty good against each other. Then we've just got the shock to go in the front end here and the brake caliper. Obviously, you've seen the shocks white with the black. That's looking pretty good. And then a black caliper just to finish it off with a black wheel hub, a white wheel hubcap at the end. That's looking pretty sweet. Quite happy with that. Let's get down the back. The main rear axle is in the white, looking pretty good. Just chuck a few of these bits on so we can get to the brake caliper a little quicker. On you go, and on you go. Nice. Brake disc and the pad. Then let's get some of the other bits done here. Now the spring cap is in black to comparison against that. Then we've got the spring actually in white and the cap that you can't paint. The solid control axle arm or axle control arm, whatever you want to call it, in black with the leaf spring plate in white, and then the bolts themselves in the black just to mix up the colours at the back here. Looking pretty sweet. I actually really do like how this looks. And then the rear shock is in black as well. That's pretty much it for the colour. Just got to get that brake caliper on. You've already seen it in the black, looking pretty tasty. On you go. I'll get the rest of this finished up. We'll take another quick look when we get to do the engine bay. I've still got to buy all the bits for the engine bay. I haven't got it all yet. So I will meet you over there in just a couple of moments when I've got this all finished and all the bits I needed paid for. I'll see you in a second. That suspension in the black and white looks absolutely incredible. I am so happy with how that turned out. Probably my best suspension painting I've done, in my opinion. I really do love that. I think it looks great. All the blacks, the whites going into the middle. It looks incredible. Not what we're here for, though. We've got to get this engine bay sorted out. The only thing painted in here is the fuse box in that lovely white. You can see it. I'll get the rest of that finished in a bit. But let's throw all of this in. So we've got the ECU, the brake servo, the windshield washer reservoir, the radiator that doesn't have any fan housing on it. Don't know why that is. It's just one of them things. Coolant reservoir, the battery, and the power steering reservoir in the front there. That's it for the main part of the engine bay. Obviously, we've got all of this to sort out. I think I might come into that next. It's probably going to take me a little while to figure out what everything's got to go there. So I'm going to get on and get this fuse box finished. Then we're going to see what we need to do all of this. And I'll join you back in just a few moments. That's one side pretty much complete. That's how it looks. It looks pretty sweet. Let's jump in. Have I missed something there? No, that's just part of the air intake that's invisible. Don't know. Anyway, oh god, I'm stuck on the intercooler that isn't there. I'm going to get on and let's build this other side just to show you how it's done the easiest way. Start with the air filter base i4B, and then you can reach the internal filter for it and the cover for it. On that goes, nice and simple. Then do the secondary filter, the air filter base, then the filter for that, then the cover for that, and obviously then you can throw your clips on. All my clips are white. This is all painted in black up here. Get the other 2 clips on just so we finish that, so I don't forget it when I come back later. That's that. Then that's pretty much all. Oh no, power steering reservoir at the top end. I think everything else needs to be put in underneath, apart from this radiator, which I have forgot to pick up. So I'll grab that one in a minute and get that one fixed. We all know how to put that in. It is nice and simple. Let's get the car back in the air so that we can get the rest of it finished off, like the exhaust sections and things like that. So go in there, go in underneath, and then move your way up. So you've got the 4 fuel tanks that sit on either side. Now, as far as I can see, oh, that's not the right part. None of these need any pumps or anything like that. Just got to awkward to find the positioning of it. It's nice and simple. I did forget, I missed one exhaust section when I was buying it. So you do also need the front exhaust section, i4 double overhead cam TAE exhaust. 2 of which, obviously, to fit in. So let's throw the rest of this all back in. The other fuel tank, all 3 of the big fuel tanks do need their filters, or the pumps. The 8 smaller ones don't. And then just simply work your way around, getting all these mufflers on, nice and simple, along with the centerpiece as well. Like that, like that, like that. I think that's all of it on there. Obviously, that large intercooler to go on as well. And then the drive shaft in the center when it's finished. I need to go and grab this radiator because I haven't got it yet. But before we do that, we'll throw in the underside of the exhaust, which I think I've bought it all. Let's just double check. It is nice and simple. It's just, you know, there's a lot to it to get that finished and looking pretty sweet. I need to go and buy that radiator, so we'll sort that out in a second. But that, obviously there is a drive shaft to go on there as well, but we can't pick that one yet. Ah, there we go. It's finally showing up, but it won't appear. Don't know why. So I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to put that one on. But that looks pretty sweet. These were painted in black. These were painted in white. And then the rest of the exhaust, the rest of the fuel tanks were painted in black. And the exhausts can't be painted. I'm going to go and buy that radiator, whatever it was called, that's hidden in there somewhere. Get that sorted. Ooh, then we'll get the engine built, ready to drop in this engine bay. I will see you in just a couple of moments. I bought the radiator, got it dropped in, and then realised that it does actually need the fan housing. Fan housing B with the 2 fans. Nice and simple. As far as I can tell, I think this turbo jet engine setup is complete. Not quite 100% at the moment. It looks pretty good in the black bits of white and then the stainless steel colour of the exhaust coming through. Looking pretty good. Just got to figure out when we can get that drive shaft in. But let's go and get the engine built. I've already started. I have done a little bit. I've painted the engine block itself white. It's not quite fully white, as you can tell. I've got all the clutch set up on. I've got most of the pistons in. I've just got one to go. And there is a reason for that, because it doesn't... The SS engine... We are swapping to the SS engine, by the way. Sorry, I haven't said that yet. This is the SS engine we're building. The most horsepower out of the available option ones from standard. But the SS engine needs the V8 overhead valve B piston rings, not the normal ones that you would normally buy. So just bear that in mind when you're building the SS engine. Can sort of catch you off guard. It caught me off guard. I bought the normal rings and then was like, why? I'm sure I've got everything. Anyway, let's get this the right way up. So you do have the camshaft in here running down through the middle. You can put it in at any point. I'm saving it till now just so you guys can see. Then we've got the power steering pump in the black, so we can contrast it with black and white. Cam gear chain on. And then this cover here, this lovely timing cover, can't be painted. Absolutely no idea why. Some of these just can't be painted. I don't think there's a rhyme or reason to it. Done the water pump in white, looking pretty snazzy, I think. Then I've got the engine heads officially painted black, but it's obviously only that inside bit that paints black. Both of them on there. 3 bolts each, nice and simple. Let's get you on. The exhaust the exhaust manifold, should I say, can't be painted. So that just goes in as it is. We all know what the spark plugs are and the valve push rods and the rocker arms to go on top. Intake manifold in that beautiful white, looking pretty nice. Really takes up the engine, shows what it's doing. The arm, unfortunately, can't be painted. Just sits up there looking pretty boring. But the alternator is in black at the top there. So as you can see, there's sort of a theme. White main bits with black accessories. So the carburetors, they're in white because the rest of the stuff going on top of that is in black. So we'll get this finished. Then I'll get all the valve push rods and all of the rocker arms done. I just want to show you the air filter and the filter covers going on. Obviously, they're in the black to make it look pretty sweet. I'm going to go on and get some more of this finished off. Oh, we'll get the distributor in. Black distributor, not painted cap, and then a black cap on that as well, with the clips painted in white, like the other clips on the back of the car there. So yeah, that's pretty much that for colour at the minute. I'll get the rest of this simple bits done on before we throw the engine head and the cables on. I'll see you back here in just a second. Last few bits to go on now. We've got the fan to go on. That fan is in the white, just finishing off the main base of the colour of the engine there. Then we've got the two engine head covers, are both in black, looking pretty tasty. Couldn't get that last bolt then, don't know why. Anyway, both the head covers on, looking nice. And then we've just got the cables to go. If I could hit them, there we go. The cables themselves, they're in the black. This engine looks pretty sweet in its black and white colour combination. How good's it going to look in the engine bay though? Let's have a look. Let's get it off the stand. Off you come. I forgot to bring the lifter over, so we need to go and grab that, as well as opening the hood on the way. Move you over. Let's get you dropped in and see what this looks like. 100% completed. Good. That means I didn't miss anything. Let's get you in. Let's have a look. Oh, that actually looks pretty sick. You got the main part of the white sticking up there with the black covers and the black air filter cover on the top there. Looking pretty smart. Very happy with how that's turned out. Now I need to try and figure out how to get this gearbox and that drive shaft in. Hopefully it's just going to be quite simple. Let's find out. Let's get underneath the car. Let's get the gearbox in. Now let's get that gearbox in. So let's throw the gearbox in. It's in the white, looking pretty good. It's a shame that engine block doesn't quite paint white properly, but never mind. The starter, that's in the black, just nicely popped there. Obviously we have this drive shaft here. Let's throw you on, and let's just hope that we... Oh, missed the bolt. That we can get to that other drive shaft up here. Yes, it's showing up now, so that's good. It just needed the gearbox to go in. Let's get you in as well. On you go. And that is this car very nearly finished. I can't get to them bolts. Funny angle, but never mind. They're in now. That's the majority of this car done. Looking pretty sweet. I've got to throw some interior in, so let's do that now. Then I'm going to pick the size of the wheels, tint the windows, and then we'll be outside in the sun. Let's have a look. Now, the steering wheel, obviously, I've just kept it the steering wheel 7 that came with it, but I have put the 370Z seats in it just because, you know, this car, I'm imagining this car is going to be insanely fast by the time we've done to the dyno. Just looking at the base SS engine in there, 625 horsepower from the SS. So that's pretty sick. But all of these parts here are all tuning parts, all the exhaust sections are tuning parts. The filters in all three fuel tanks, the pumps in all three fuel tanks are tuning parts. That's a tuning intercooler. There is a lot of additional power on this insane vehicle. But yes, I'm going to get the windows tinted. That's this thing here. You move it over to the car. Nice and simple. Come over to here and press that to use the equipment. Very nicely done. Let's just tint them all out fully black. And then to make sure I can see out the windscreen, we'll just bring that down to around 80. That should be visible out the windscreen. I will check it later and adjust it if I need to. But yeah, I'm going to pick some lovely wheels for this car. What colour do you think they should be? Black or white, or maybe two-tone black and white? Not sure yet. We'll have a look in just a minute. I'll see you back here. Oh, I'll see you outside in a second when hopefully, fingers crossed, this car will be 100% finished. See you in a moment. Here we are then with the Cadillac El Camino, looking absolutely stunning with its massive turbo jet engines. I don't know what you want to call them at the back. They are ludicrously insane. I love this setup. It looks so good. Let's quickly talk about the wheels though. So the rims I went for were the rims Modern 4B because I could get two-tone black outline, black trim in the middle there, and then paint the main parts white. Looking absolutely incredible. The fronts are 18 inches with an ET of 30 to bring them out a bit further than they were from base. 255 width with a 35 profile. Pretty basic as to what it came on. Apart from the ET, the tyres were tucked in the fenders quite a bit, so I put some ET on them to bring them out. At the rears, we've got 20 inches. They were 18, so we've increased that by 2 inches with a 375 width and a 35 profile. 0 ET on this one. This one is very similar to the same, apart from it's 20 inch instead of 18 inch. that's basically it for the wheels. But let's just have a look around this thing. It is absolutely stunning. You do have to fill all of these up with liquid as well. I've done them all, including the servo, along with all of the bits in the engine bay. And that black and white engine looks absolutely stunning. This whole car is stunning. Excellent job by Zaraki, however you pronounce your name, I do apologise, who modded in this particular config with the permission of Payne, who modded in the actual El Camino car. And then the liveries on here by French Toast just come with the car, so you don't need to go and search for the liveries if you go and download the El Camino, and the link in the description. The stripes will be with it, basically, but you do need to go and grab the Hot Wheels Custom El Camino from Zaraki, along with links in the description below, and that way you can get this entire vehicle that looks absolutely insane. Let's quickly jump in it. Let's get this one started up and see what she sounds like. Oh, that's a beautiful grumble. Oh, I haven't heard that one before. I'm going to use the SS engine more. That sounds incredible. Let's give it some revs. Not really anything special at the top end, but that idling noise is stunning. But let's head it over to the dyno and see what horsepower this beast is going to have. So we got the car in the dyno booth, looking stunning. I do love the look of this car. Somebody asked me to show the tuning that I do on the car, so I'll just quickly show you. I'm no expert. This is just me guessing. I normally whack it up to 9 gears. Look at what's going on. So 80, maybe we want to go a bit faster. 90 in first gear. We'll bring that up a little bit. And then what I tend to do is I just tend to sort of get the curve right. Well, at least attempt to. And then check what my top end speed is. 602. I want it faster than that. Well, let's go maximum on this one, because I think this one's going to be absolutely insane. So go 999. And then we'll just move these so it's sort of like a nice curve. Not too much speed between the top end and the top gears there. About 100 in each. I suppose that's a bit much, isn't it? Yeah, but basically that's it. I'm no expert on this. I just trying to make it have a nice curve. Quite a high speed in first gear. 90 kilometers is pretty good. Up to 163. Maybe we could increase that a little bit and bring all of these down a tad. But that is basically it. I don't do anything special when I come to doing it. I just make it look like a decent curve and hope for the best, and that is basically what I do. So if you're interested in that, there we go. But let's get the actual dyno tuning done itself. Here we are then, getting it dyno tuned after you just see me tune the gearbox. The SS engine has 625 horsepower base. There is so many performance parts on this today, it should be absolutely insane. Let's have a look. We've added an additional 774 horsepower, 124%. That is an engine and a quarter nearly. Our new total at 1,399 horsepower. Them numbers are incredible, but what can we get on the track? Let's head over and find out. Here we are then on the speed track with the Hot Wheels Custom El Camino with 1,399 horsepower. Can we keep it straight down the track? Let's go! Ooh, incredibly fast off the line there, spinning like nothing else you've ever seen. That is incredible. Already gone past 300 kilometers an hour, coming up towards the 400 mark. There goes that. Where will we end up today? This is going to be a new speeder board. On the speeder board at the very least. It's already beat the 10th spot. What are we going to finish at? 536 kilometers per hour from the Chevrolet El Camino. Definitely a new speeder board time. Here we are then for the final time with the Hot Wheels Custom Chevrolet El Camino. Absolutely stunning. I love this car. The config itself is by Zaraki. Head over to the Steam Workshop using the link in the description below. Well, however you want to do it. You can use the link in the description below to go and grab that one. You will need the car itself from Payne. The link is in the description below as well. Go and grab both of these. Have some fun yourself. See what speeds you can get out of these on the track. Mine was 536 kilometers an hour, which puts it on the speeder board at 5th place. Pretty good. 333 miles per hour from this one. That is insane. I absolutely love this car. It has been a lot of fun to work on. It's also will have knocked this out of the number 10 spot, which is a shame. I'm still keeping this because I love it, but no longer in the number 10 spot. This is taking the number 5 spot. Absolutely stunning. We'll go check out that board in a second. I haven't had time to update it yet. I will get it updated for the next video though. But yeah, This one is insane. I mean, I bought the car, as you saw at the beginning of the video, for 6,423, and I have spent 70,407 modifying this car up to date. Obviously, all of these are performance parts, exhausts. Everything that can be performance parts on this is performance parts. It does put our total spend at 76,830. Will we even make a profit on this car? Let's find out. Obviously, 220,000 kilometers on here, now with 1,399 horsepower, an increase of 124%, which is insane. But how much can we get this one sold for? Oh, not anywhere near much what I was expecting. 87,386 minus 76,830 pits our profit at just over 10,000 at 10,556, which is pretty good. But it is time to say goodbye to the El Camino for not a lot of profit, but we do have a new speederboard champion in the 5th spot, so it's time to say goodbye. Off you go, El Camino. You were definitely a lot of fun. It did take me a long time to make this one today, though. I do apologise if this video is a lot longer than normal. But what have we got next? This is the last hot rod from the Hot Rod DLC. Well, the last one I am to work on for the minute anyway. This is the Smith & Parker Outlaw. This is the N version with 344,000 kilometers on it. We picked it up from the auction, and we got ripped off by just over 4,000. Hopefully we can make that back when we come to sell this one after we've upgraded it. But again, as with all the other ones, this is the 2-carb overhead valve supercharged V8, currently with 463 horsepower on it. We are going to improve that when we come to work on this one. I've been looking forward to this one a little bit more than I should have. It's a bit of a beast. It stands up really tall. What I'm going to do, hopefully, is increase the size of this rear wheel so that it still fits under the fenders, and reduce the size of that so it really sits nose down in a lovely stance position there. That is for next time, though. Thank you very much for watching today's video. I do hope you did enjoy it, and I do hope you come and join us for the next one. As always, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.